Hello there and welcome to the program NASS Unplugged. I am Mariam Sakari. Today, my guest is from Niger State. He's representing Niger South Senatorial District on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. And he is also the Vice Chairman Committee on Aviation here in the Senate. He is Senator Peter Jiya. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Distinguished sir, over the years, Nigeria has been grappling with the issue of insecurity, from Boko Haram to banditry, name it, all sorts. And there have been several attempts to nip it in the bud, and up until now, there's still some gaps or more work to be done. Now, a few days ago here at the National Assembly, at the Committee on Public Accounts, there was a startling revelation which has elicited reactions from Nigerians when the Accountant General of the Federation talked about some missing firearms. A lot of Nigerians have been commenting on this issue, some asking that if these firearms end up in the hands of the wrong people, what do you think could happen to the fight against insurgency, banditry, and other forms of insecurity in Nigeria?
Thank you very much for raising that issue. I'm a member of the Public Accounts Committee, but due to other engagements, I spent just barely about 5 or 10 minutes there and had to leave to attend to other issues. And this issue was certainly not raised while I was in attendance. To me, it is surprising that the Auditor General will raise that issue. Maybe what they should have raised should be the application of the resources for the purchase of the firearms. But be that as it may, that revelation alone, I think, is sad enough. Sad enough because our country, we have been grappling with insecurity challenges over the years. And to now realize that certain number of arms and plenty of them, for that matter, got missing. The question will be how, who was in charge, and what has been done with that discovery that it was missing. So I think the IGP, that is the Inspector General of the Police, should be asked questions. What happened to those firearms? He certainly at this level will not know what has happened, but again, he has subordinates that are in charge, and I think the IG should go to find out exactly what happened and those who are responsible for the missing firearms, and that they should be brought to book. Our challenge as a nation is premised on the fact that once discoveries are made, people are not disciplined. And once there is no discipline, or once there is no punishment meted out to wrongs done, then everybody is at liberty to do it again and again tomorrow and next. So I think if the IG will sit up to investigate what actually transpired and how those firearms disappeared, and those responsible brought to book, I think it will go a long way to ensure that things like that are nipped in the bud in the future. The next thing will be, if those firearms got missing and they're in the hands of wrong people, then I think we should be sleeping with one eye closed or both eyes open to be on guard as to the possibility of anything happening at any time. In other words, that is not good enough. And the larger society is endangered because you don't know who is having that firearms. It may be your neighbor, may even be your friend, or a friend of somebody to the family. And at any little provocation, that arm or that firearm can be used against you as an individual. So I think, again, for all of us as citizens of this country, Nigeria, I think we should be on the alert and we should watch out. And we should be able to really speak out, report when suspicious situations or circumstances around us suggest otherwise, of issues that are not normal. Because again, too, we may have neighbors who we suspect of certain things. We even confirm that that is who they are and what they have. But either we are afraid and or we decide to ignore it to the detriment of the larger society. But again, too, the Nigerian system is such that should you report, how safe are you?
I was going to ask you that question, because there are cases where people have actually, reported maybe neighbors or friends, and at the end of the day, they became targets. So that again is something I think the police force should really look into it and work on it. How safe is the person giving any information about his neighbor or friends or any family member?
Yeah, thank you. You are right. That is true. The police and the security agencies, we have to reassure citizens that should they report such incidents, they should be guaranteed safety. And the entire environment around that place should be combed to guarantee that, yes, to an extent, within the foreseeable radius, that they are safe, even if anything will happen, certainly not from within that environment, but maybe from outside. So we need that assurance, we need that alertness by the security forces to be able to ensure that those who give information, revealing, exposing evil, that instead of being rewarded and safe and living comfortably, that they are not harmed, that they do not become victims, but rather people that have served their country in a little way by giving out information to the law enforcement agent, and they are safe and they are secured and they are at peace.
One other issue I would like us to look at is the issue of improved poor remuneration. This also could be part of the reasons why maybe some of the security agencies, personnel of security agencies sometimes give out this information on people who have come to whistleblowers, if you like. Maybe if they are paid better or they fare better, there wouldn't be any attraction for them to want to give information on any whistleblower to criminals out there. Do you agree?
Partially, I agree partially, but substantially, the issue is bigger than that. The issue is a systems issue. The level of sincerity of every average Nigerian is too low. If we can up it, and of course that we have to be true leadership, then we have guaranteed situation and safety for citizens. It's not about the amount that is paid. It's about the greed that is, in us to always acquire more and more and more. We are not contented. And we have this mindset of doing the untoward. to get rich faster. The students of the Federal University of Technology, Mina, who came on a visit to the National Assembly today, just paid me a courtesy visit, and they asked me the greatest challenge I have. And I told them the greatest challenge I have is the impatience of the youths. What you who have qualified over 40, 50 years ago is having is what they want to have in 5 years. Yes, we're in a jet age, but jet age does not and should not be seen as a guarantee to short-circuiting, ways and means of achieving. There is time limit, a gestation period for each professional engagement. And once we are patient, we are contented, then everybody should be able to operate within his or her own limitations. But a fresh graduate wants to be like maybe an assistant director or even a director, and it is not possible. So I think it's not about payment, it's about the value system. The value system. And very sadly too, the churches and the mosque are not helping matters. If you go to the church, it's all about money. If you go to the mosque, it's all about money. So what do we have to teach the younger generation? When we read or learn about the values that those who were in the 50s, the 60s, 70s, and maybe the early 80s, there are people that can hold their head high, not on the basis of what is in their pocket, but on the basis of the values which they cherish, values they have inherited, and values they are sustaining. So if a secretary to government or a permanent secretary can say no to a governor, that this is the procedure, and because you did not follow this procedure, I will not approve this, or you will not get this. But today that is not the case. So let me just answer that question simply this way. That it is not the amount of money that they pay, but that because people want to live above their means. So that has stirred up the kind of greed to acquire and to measure up. For example, when we were in school, I can recall vividly, there was this student that possibly what he had was maybe about 2-3 trousers and a number of shirts to match. Yet, that was all he had, but he was in the university. And he faced his books squarely, and they made a first class. Better than those who were changing clothes every day. He did not bother himself to say, oh, no, this one is dressing this way, so I must dress this way, and possibly will lead to stealing. But rather he was contented with what it was. What was he eating? Was he eating good meal like others, or was he soaking gari? At the end of the day, he came out tops and graduated with flying colors. And if we can go back to these value systems, this value system, I think that will be of great help. But yes, the world is not static. Yet the world is in a hurry. But we should remember that there will be a tomorrow. And where your liberties stop, somebody's rights continues. And so It's not about money, but let me add this too. The elders, the leaders, we have not been fair to the younger,
You just took it
to the
right
junior,
out of my mouth.
to the
Yes.
junior ones.
Okay.
Even the little that is meant for them, pay it immediately. Don't hoard it. Because it is in hoarding it that they are tempted to try other things, to be able to survive, to be able to live. So if somebody's salary is given, give it out immediately. If it is at work allowances, overtime allowances, give it. And they will be motivated by that. We should not allow a situation whereby people get bribed to work. But people are motivated by the system, by what the system gives.
Now you made a very strong point about talking about the value system, the breakdown of the value system. And when you talked about elders, I was going to say you were reminiscing about days that people didn't have much, yet they focused on them. This breakdown of value, wouldn't you also hold, like you said, elders? Because if they had passed it from one generation to another, I'm sure some of these problems we're in now would not be this much. So the breakdown also of values, elders should be held accountable as well.
Certainly. While I agree to the fact that what elders went through, our children and grandchildren should not go through that because of changing times and circumstances. There are some basics and fundamentals that they must go through.
Sure.
So we are responsible for creating the breakdown of this value system. My child that is in school, that is an average student, I want him to make an A, and I decide to go and see the teacher. Buy gifts for the teacher, send money to the teacher, and even make the teacher, as it were, a guardian of the student in school. And that is a lot. Because if that same teacher is to mark that student, it is not what the student scored that will be the result at the end of the day. The teacher will rather look at the benefits he has derived. Is the student a C student? The student may possibly get a B plus or even an A instead of C. And if we are contented, that takes us back to the issue of contentment. If we are contented, then we should be able to stand our ground, irrespective of what the society, forces on us.
All right, let's move on now to other issues. The legislative arm of government, mostly what helps legislators is the number of years of experience they have been either at the National Assembly or state houses of assembly. Now, like in your state, Niger State now, for example, this set, there seem to be, like newcomers on board. And this job requires some level of experience. You're here for the first time, it will take you some time to stabilize and, be able to follow whatever is going on. What would be your advice now to maybe curb this turnover after every 4 years or 8 years to allow for people to have enough experience? Because this job is about representing the people. It is also about making laws, but you must understand these things before you're able to make an impact.
Thank you very much. I think that is one lesson personally I have learned over the years as a member of the House of Representatives from 1999 to 2007. At that time, I craved for a third time, believing that with a third time, I was going to achieve much more. But again, the society determines what happens. Determines in the sense that, for example, then in my federal constituency, we have 3 local governments, and I was the first to have, or my local government through me, I had the first shot. And having spent 8 years, the 2 other local governments were waiting and eager to partake of the system. And so, no matter how strong you are and how good you are, the political class can come together and say, look, for the sake of inclusiveness, let us have a bite of this in bits and pieces. So if local government A has had a bite for 8 years, let another local government taste the same apple to find out how sweet it is or how sour it is. So that is part of the challenge we have in the polity today all over the country, with just exception of some few areas that are able to sustain their members in the National Assembly or state houses of assembly for this long. We look at Lagos State, the recently removed speaker, I think he's been there for many years. If you look at the National Assembly, you have Nicholas Mutu, who has been here since 1999. The former Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, who has been here since 1999. The current Deputy Senate President, who has been here since 1999, except for once that I think he went doing something else. So we have a few or a handful that have been in the system and have been able to do much for their constituencies. But then again, we cannot run away from the fact that each constituency is unique, and the people determine what should happen. And you cannot, in a democracy, if you are from 3 local governments, if the other 2 local governments decide to gang up against you, no matter how good you are, of course, you have to go back home and take a rest to do other things. So that is the challenge, and we will continue, and I'm sure we have a handful. We will continue to improve on this as a nation, as the system grows and develops. US today will look at them and said, oh, this one has been in parliament for 20 years, for 30 years, for whatever number of years. Yes, we will get there. We have broken democracies, but at least for the past 25, 26 years, unbroken. So by the time we reach maybe 50 years of unbroken democracy, 75 years of unbroken democracy, 100 years of unbroken democracy, then I think we will see more of this coming up. But for now, everybody or every section and every local government and every constituency is eager to have his or their own there.
All right, still on the legislature, let's look at your senatorial district now.
Yeah.
So, it's been over a year since you started representing, yes, Niger South Senatorial District. What would you say in terms of projects that you have attracted to the people of Niger South?
Well, thank you once again for asking that question, because that is the essence of being here. To represent the people and to be able to attract one thing or the other back home for the benefit of the people. The system that is operated now is, apart from the executive coming with the proposed budget to the National Assembly, the members of the parliament are given an opportunity to input some projects into the budget. There's a ceiling for everybody. Of course, the leadership, like George Owen's animal farm, all animals are equal, but some are more equal than the others. So, of course, the leaders have to be considered for being leaders, and we have to get more. But for every one of us, there's a limit, and within that limit, and for me in particular, the issue of street solar lights, electrification projects that I commenced while in the House of Reps, and some of my colleagues from within the Senatorial District commenced, some of the things I have taken on. My predecessor in office started Open University outlets, which I have continued with, because yes, initiated them, but they are for our people, and to abandon them will be working against the people. So last year, 2024, I ensured a provision was made for it. This year, 2025, since they are not completed, I have submitted an input too for that, and some other projects. Now the issue, Niger South and Niger State. Niger State has the largest land size in the country, and is it the longest or inland waterways, the length, we have that. And luckily we have a governor who says that agric will be key to him, having regard to our environment, natural environment. And I didn't have any hesitation. When I was in the House of Reps, I proposed 2 dams for irrigation somehow, since it was towards the end of my second term and I left. Typical of our environment, nothing happened. But now that God has given me an opportunity to be here in the Senate, last year I was able to put in the budget provision for 2 dams. One is around the place called Eba in Kacha local government. It's close to Badegi. We have a large expanse of land for rice cultivation, and then there's a river there that, if dammed, will be of immense help to irrigation farming in that area, and we add to the food security situation of the country. There's another one too, where I come from, the Esan village. We have large expanse of rice cultivating land, and I proposed another dam there. They are still at the preliminary stages, but I believe that within the next 2 years, all things being equal, people will see the development of these projects. It's not a project that you can just finish overnight because of what it entails, but by and large, I believe that these ones we scale through, and of course, if I'm given the chance every year, we make provisions for the establishment or construction of dams, because the Niger South Senatorial District is a very fertile area, and have swampy places for rice cultivation, sugar cane, and all sorts. And and we have a lot of rivers flowing and wasting with wasted water all through the season. So if this can be dammed to take care of this, to add, I think Niger State alone can feed more than Nigeria as far as rice is concerned. And I would love to see the federal government do more in that, of course, and that will have to depend on me and my colleagues in the National Assembly to see that we are able to do more or attract more or ask for more as far as farming is concerned in Niger State.
And also, we hope that the security situation in Niger will improve as well, because there's no denying that you have arable land, but if the people cannot go to the farm, that again is another issue that could hamper food production in the state.
You're right. In my own senatorial district, gladly, we are less affected, if affected at all. There were intrusions, but God helped and they were driven back. So my senatorial district is a bit safer as far as farm activity is concerned. The Niger East, yes, we have incidents there, but not all the senatorial district. The same with Niger North. So by and large, we still have large expanse of land free for farming activities. I think all that will be required is farm inputs and provision of machinery to enhance production.
Well, I must thank you very much, Senator Peter Jiya, for coming on the program today. Thank you so much. And
I thank you too.
I would like to commend you. You talked about continuing a project that your predecessor started in the aspect of open university. I know it is something that politicians don't do that much, because everyone will want his own credit at the end of the day, but here you are. You have continued with that line of project that he started in the past. Best wishes in your future endeavors, sir.
Thank you very much, and you're welcome.
So that's it on the program today. I have been speaking with the senator representing Niger South here at the National Assembly. He is Senator Peter Jiya. He is here on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the program, he's also Vice Chairman Committee on Aviation. That's our package for today. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you again, same time. Goodbye.